Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar, AI Without the Hype, What It Can Do for Your Business Right Now. Hope you guys are having a great day, a great week, and let's get into some fun here. So let's start by acknowledging, I think the obvious, right, is AI feels like it's everywhere and is kind of everywhere, right? It's in our jobs, it's on the news, it's on our phones, and it's especially in our businesses. And I don't know about you, but I think it's starting to feel like, and especially the last few years, that AI is moving faster and has been more prominent than ever. When I talk to a lot of business owners, I think there's two really conflicting feelings and thoughts about AI. You have a group here that understands AI, they utilize it, they get it, they have fully invested their business using AI tools. But then there's this other group that has a lot of questions, right? A lot of skepticism of how does this work and is it gonna be able to sound like me and be like me and do all of these things? And how does this work in a real business with real people, real customers, real constraints? And that tension we feel is completely normal. The challenge we have today isn't necessarily that there isn't enough tools, because we can be fully honest here that there are plenty of tools, right? The real issue is there's so many tools and there's so much conflicting advice that people don't really understand how to utilize AI, and especially how to utilize it in their business. And that's really why this session exists. This session is not about me showing you the newest shiny tool that's going to absolutely transform your life or business. It's not about creating the perfect prompt, and it is definitely not about replacing people. I think that is truly the biggest fear that most people have when it comes to AI. The goal today is to simply slow things down and look at how AI can realistically help your business right now. We'll talk about where AI is useful today, where it still is a little bit falls short, and how you can start using it in ways that make your work easier without adding a bunch of chaos and extra work, and especially without adding risk. And then I'm going to wrap up today by doing a quick demo, just showing how ChatGPT specifically, but really any AI tool, can help with everyday business tasks and hopefully make your life a little bit easier. And truthfully, my hope is at the end of this is really that each and every one of you just feel a little bit clearer, a little bit more confident when it comes to AI and just how to approach it. So let's continue on talking all things AI, because that word has been doing a lot of work. So let's dive into it. AI, or artificial intelligence, at its core is really just software that recognizes patterns in data and makes predictions based on what it sees. That's it. AI will never think like people do, will never have the same intent or judgment. It's really just analyzing information and predicting what might come next. We live in a little bit of a world that's scared of AI. Will it take over? But AI at the core can never have the same thoughts and feelings and intent that we do as humans, right? And now where this starts to matter in your business is that, yes, AI is everywhere, but not all AI works the same. Different types of AI are designed to do different things. So some AI was built to sort and filter information, which has been around for a really long time. Some generate images and text, which we're seeing a huge uptick in, social media and different ways to post content and things like that. And then there's other types that are really built to take action within software systems and help inside the business. And because they're all built differently and not all the same, not all AI tools carry that same level of risk. One important thing to know is AI itself is actually not that new. Many forms of AI have actually been around for years and years, and probably part of your businesses you just don't even realize, and we didn't coin them as AI back in the day. When you think of spam filters or autocorrect, which thank goodness we still have, and Grammarly, or any systems that really are able to sort a large amount of information, those are all examples of AI. It's just not the type of AI that's getting all the attention and hype right now. Because now we're hearing all different types of AI with all different names, from anything of Copilot to AI assistant to agentic AI to generative AI, and I don't think a lot of us know what those mean and how they work, and we're not really getting an explanation. So today, we're going to simplify things a little bit, and we are going to solely focus on generative AI. And that is the type of AI that we can start using in the business right now to make some small little tweaks and changes that hopefully help your business and make things just a little bit more efficient for you. So now that we've narrowed our focus, let's dive in a little bit deeper to generative AI. So generative AI is designed to create drafts and content and is really the most relevant for small businesses today. So good at email drafts, outlines, social media posts, can create images, PowerPoints. I always think of generative AI as the best place to go when you don't know where to begin or you don't know where to start, which I think we've all been, or you just need a little kick to kind of get those ideas flowing. That's where generative AI is so helpful because it doesn't act on its own. It waits for you to give them that prompt and then acts on direction. So in this world where we talk about AI and it feels like it's a very automatic, that's where generative AI is very different because you're always in control. It's not going to create a draft and send it to your whole team. It's going to create a draft, and from there you can make it your own. You can change it. You can really make it what you want it to be, but then it's up to you to send it out. So it's a really good, think of it as a really great support tool, but will never be a decision maker. So it can ease things. It can give you some time back when it comes to writing emails or campaigns, things like that, but will never be a final decision maker in your business. Now that we have defined what generative AI is, let's talk a little bit deeper about how to think about it. And we touched on this really briefly in the previous slide, but diving in a little bit deeper of just how do we think about generative AI? And I think the best way to think of it is to get a stronger, faster draft, whether it's an email, a policy update, a social media, a set of meeting notes. I don't know about you, but I sit all day and take notes on my iPad, and then I'm like, well, what do I do with this? I have all this really great information. Well, that is a perfect place with how to use generative AI. Throw that into your AI agent, ask them, hey, sort this into a really clear, concise note, and boom, what you get back is all your notes sorted for you, so you're not taking the time having to go through that, right? And the best part is, again, you're in control. You get to review everything, but also with this generative AI, it reduces friction, but it also doesn't increase risk. It doesn't have any increase when it comes to the risk factor. So that's the really positive about generative AI. It works fast. It gives us great drafts. It gives us a great starting point and can really help us clearly and concisely find the information that we're looking for. But in order to use it well, we do need to understand two things, and that is where generative AI adds value, and also where does human judgment still need to be the lead when we're talking about AI and how to use it. So let's dive into the fun stuff and really start to see where generative AI is really, really good. Because again, like we talked about in the last slides, is it's really great for the part of works that are repetitive, text heavy, the moments when you're sitting at your desk and in the office staring at a blank screen going, where the heck do I start? A few more ideas of where it's really good at is, again, I can't say enough good things about the whole iPad. Throw your notes into your iPad, throw them into your generative AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Copilot, and allow them to sift through those notes and make it super digestible for you and your team. You can also use it for emails, whether it's one-to-one emails, maybe it's a group email, a company-wide email. It's really great also at creating social posts. So let's say you want to take your business to the next level when it comes to social media. Start with AI, right? Throw in, how do I create a 6-week social media plan that will help my business go viral? And I want to market to this, and this, right? The more specific we can get, the better outcomes we'll get from ChatGPT. Because at the end of the day, ChatGPT is just a starting point. It's a launch point, but is not the finish point. And remember, the human is still such an important piece of this, that we prompt it, that we review it, that we're the ones that truly own the final outcome of generative AI. So being that these are all the positives of AI and generative AI specifically, there always is some downfalls. So we're going to dive into that next of what are maybe the downfalls to this, and kind of set healthy expectations and level set so that you can be careful and understand, maybe what it's not good at. So what is generative AI maybe not so good at, right? We just talked about all the pros of it can write drafts, it can create plans and outlines and simplify and give you time back. But few things that we always need to be really, really careful about, especially when we're using generative AI within our business, is just understanding that AI in general, and when we're speaking of generative AI, is never going to know what matters most in your business. Again, it's just data that's taking the input and giving you an output based on the data that you give it. It doesn't know what matters most to you. It doesn't know what matters most to your customers, your employees, right? It lacks that human ability in generative AI. It doesn't understand emotions. That's probably a good thing. It doesn't have feelings. So it's not going to understand that emotional, balance of if it's writing things or different things like that. And it definitely doesn't know legal nuances. So if you're working in legal or you have drafts that are legal, right, it's not going to know those specific things. I think at the end of the day, and we've said it a few times over and over, is AI, especially generative AI, because that's what we're focusing on today, it's a supporting tool. It is not a decision maker. If something goes wrong, it's on us because whatever we inputted it was wrong, or whatever we sent based on what we copied and pasted was wrong. It is not accurate, and we are the ones that have to make sure what we're sending and what we're reviewing from these AI tools are accurate. Let's get practical and dive into this. Because at the end of the day, my hope is that at the end of this webinar and at the end of the demo, you can take one thing that you can start to use in your business, whether it's today, tomorrow, and the next month, but just one easy thing that could maybe transform your business in just a little way, whether it's maybe saving you 15 minutes, maybe it's saving your, accounts payable person time, whatever it may be. Where can we start using this today? So here's some ideas. My hope is that we'll run through these ideas. Take maybe one, start there, take them all, whatever you want to do. But hopefully these will give you some ideas of quick starting. And I know we've kind of ran through ideas throughout this webinar, so hoping we can just build off this and really give you guys, each and every single one of you, a plan to kind of start and where you could use this type of AI in your business right now. So the first is internal communications, right? So that is a big one that I don't know about you guys, is a little nerve-wracking to write and also super time-consuming. So whether it is staff announcements, updating policies, which also can be very time-consuming and also not super fun, creating clear instructions. If you have a team that maybe struggles with kind of that baseline instruction and really needs to dive in a little bit deeper to each, this AI is so good at creating details if you give them a point to create details on, right? Or maybe it's just, again, turning those rough notes into something organized, which I've said a million times is like my favorite part of using generative AI currently, because writing those notes, inputting them into, Teams or wherever you need to put them is so time consuming. And I feel like we all can say we have better things to do than re-looking at our notes over and over and over again during the day. The other thing it's really great at is customer-facing drafts. I think a lot of people get stuck when it comes to these because they don't really know where to start. So maybe it's appointment reminders, maybe it's FAQ, maybe it's just like response time templates and sales templates where, hey, this is what the team's going to follow. And those follow-up emails, that way you have a template and you're not having to rewrite something every single time. You can prompt this generative AI to really give you awesome email templates that you can share with your team and continue to use that do not sound robotic, sound like a human, and sound like someone from your team wrote it. Again, just think of it as a draft. It's not the end all be all. You can obviously change things and do things as they come. Third is just meeting follow-up, summarizing those meetings, turning the notes into action items, creating recap emails for your team. How awesome if you could take your Zoom recording. Let's say you just take the text recording because everyone can get that. That's pretty easy. Take that, throw it into a generative AI. hey, put the action items for my team, list their names to each action item, and then from there you can send it in a recap email. Think about clear communication and how much easier that is for your team to clearly understand what their next steps are, easy for you to track what the next steps are, and things like that. That actually gave me a great idea that I'm going to start using that with my team after this webinar is completed. But and then fourth, just like we've talked about, SOPs can be such a pain to kind of put together and really hard to know where to start. You can always take something that you already have and tweak it or ask for feedback. Tons of different things like that are super helpful when it comes to generative AI that you can do today. So my ask is find one of those things that you're really struggling, and maybe you're struggling in just having processes in place, or you don't know how to store really good notes, and this is a way for you to really clearly have them written out and in a way that your team can understand. Create an email newsletter. All of these things are things that you can do today and can really help your business. None of these replace people. Just know that these are tools to honestly help your employees. It's never to replace, it's here to help. And it's just there to reduce friction and maybe give your team a little bit of a leg up of just knowing that they have some extra resources that they didn't before. So now let's get into the fun stuff. Before we jump into our AI that we're going to use today as kind of our workshop, and hopefully you guys will come along, I want you to remember these three things before we start, right? The human decides the goal. Always, always, always. We cannot just throw into ChatGPT, help me, my life is falling apart, give me all the tools. That's not how this is going to work. That the human decides the goal. What do you want to accomplish, right? AI drafts that, and then the human reviews and refines. This is a framework that we always want to follow. We do not want to change this. This is something that we always want to keep in the back of our head when we're using generative AI. So let's step out of these slides and let's dive into a real example. All right, everyone, let's dive into the workshop portion of this webinar. By far my favorite part, and I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I did, kind of putting it together and getting this built out for you. So obviously, please, I encourage each of you to follow along. I will be using ChatGPT today, but reminder that you can use Copilot, Claude, whatever AI tool is available to you. You do not have to use ChatGPT. That's just what I'll be using for the example. So also just a quick note, with ChatGPT, I'm also going to put on this instance. So should make the answers and our outputs come a little bit quicker. So if you're following along with me, and you might be wondering why is yours taking a little bit longer, I just toggled it to make it more of the instance. So you can absolutely do that in the left-hand corner. But let's dive into it. So with this workshop, we're going to kind of run through level 1 through 4 when it comes to generative AI. So we're going to start with level 1, which is a overly simplistic prompt. And really the hope with this workshop is each level, we're going to get a little bit more detailed and just show you when you give ChatGPT or whatever AI tool you're using and generative AI in general, a little more information, a little bit better prompts, what kind of outcome you can get. So we'll start with level 1. That is our overly simplistic prompt. Today, I am going to be using the example of a dental office. So you're going to see the dental office kind of show up over and over and over again. But again, highly encourage you to not follow my prompts, throw your business in there, and that way you're getting usable and tangible information from this exercise in this workshop in general. So I will be going slow enough to kind of walk this through with you guys. So don't feel like you have to rush through it. You can always pause. You can always kind of go back, but I will be writing every single prompt. So we'll take a little bit of pause. That way you have time to throw these in, and we'll walk through this. We'll walk through this together like we're side by side. So level 1, and our simplistic prompt where we're going to start is create a social media post with an image to promote my dental practice, Bright Smile Dental. So I currently am working at Bright Smile Dental with this. So here we go. Facebook post is looking for a dental office your whole family will actually enjoy visiting. At Bright Smile Dental, we make every visit comfortable, friendly, and stress-free, which who doesn't love that? You can see here that it's whether it's your child's first time visit or time for a routine cleaning, we're here to make smiles brighter and healthier. So we're a little bit just generic, broad with, okay, we accept adults, kids, we're kid friendly, we're convenient. And obviously they're touching on that insurance. So obviously it gives us a image concept, what to create or generate, and then gives us a text overlay. I love this because then it also says I can generate an actual image and say, yes, let's create that, just to give us an idea of what kind of image is it going to create for us when we're talking about more of a simplistic and general overview. Also, want to point out that on the bottom of our screen, we have the little ChatGPT can make mistakes, check for important info, giving us that reminder that we are in control. ChatGPT can totally mess things up and is not always a reliable source. So here we are, Bright Smile Dental, now accepting patients, family-friendly, gentle care, book today. And honestly, it's not bad. They got some kids in the background. It's a little bit of a feel good. So I will say for a start, this is not horrible. This is definitely not bad. So let's move into level 2. Let's get a little bit more specific. Let's work through kind of, well, all right, dial in what our business is a little bit deeper into what we're doing and what we want to promote. So let's dive in to get a little bit more specific. So level 2, this is going to be our prompt. So write a Facebook post for my dental practice, Bright Smile Dental, to promote my dental cleaning services, make a graphic for this as well. So we're asking obviously for a post, we're asking for a graphic, and we're finally kind of dialing into what we want. We want to promote dental cleanings. We want people to walk through the door, and different things like that. So we're getting a little bit closer to a CTA, a little bit closer to what we want. Obviously, it's giving us a Facebook post that's saying dental cleaning focus, right? At Bright Smile Dental, we make it easy, even enjoyable. Love that for a dentist office, for the whole family. With that, it's also giving you graphic option ideas. And then I love this about ChatGPT specifically. It's going to say you want to level up, right? Let's add your phone number, your website. Let's create a Square Instagram version. Design more luxury. We're going to get to this, but it's already prompting you for more detail. Hey, what do you want next? Let's make this a little bit more customizable. But I do want to say create an image with this prompt above. And let's have an image created just taking from what we gave. And then what we can kind of do is take the two and start looking at them side by side and just start to see that we're getting a little bit better outcome with every prompt we give. Another thing that I love about ChatGPT is as it makes images, sometimes it will slowly like unveil, which is kind of fun. You can see that the AI is like working and trying to get, everything finished. And it's like slowly but surely unveiling what it is. So you can see it kind of created the same one. Gentle and thorough cleanings, kid-friendly, stress-free, insurance accepted. That's a very important. So we go back to this one. We're getting a real basic feel that's not giving any insight to what our dental practice is doing, where this is giving us a little bit more info. Gentle and thorough cleanings, kid-friendly. I think parents probably in general love seeing stress-free visits, and people love that their insurance is accepted. So we're getting a little bit closer. Obviously, we're also having our phone number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and our website is there, which it was not if we go back here. This is just said family-friendly, gentle book today with no CTA. So obviously, if I was having a real business, we would start to include like our real phone numbers, our real website. So as you're doing this with me, add your real details in there. I'm being vague because obviously this is an example. So you can see that this is still pretty vague, but we're getting closer and closer to where we want to go. So level 3 that we're going to move into now is a structured prompt. So we're going to give our AI a little bit more info to what we're exactly looking for. So this prompt is going to be write a 100-word Facebook post for my dental practice, Bright Smile Dental, aimed at adults with children looking for a new dentist, inviting them to schedule teeth cleaning, include an image of someone getting their teeth cleaned. So if you're a bookstore, I'm a bookstore trying to invite families and children to my Saturday book read, whatever, make it really fit your business. But obviously we're getting a little bit deeper into kind of what we want. We're specifying a 100-word Facebook post. We're saying that we want adults with children, inviting them to schedule for a teeth cleaning. We're starting to dial a little bit closer to what we actually want. So looking for a dentist your whole family feels comfortable with. I have to kind of laugh at some of these pictures that are popping up, to be honest with you. But the purple dental place is kind of cool, actually. But obviously you see here, now accepting new patients, kid-friendly, caring environment, thorough, comfortable cleanings, things that really probably tailor to parents with children. Also really like the last sentence of our family-friendly team creates a calm, welcoming experience, especially for little ones. Obviously, what we want to prompt it is to create an image with this. So create an image for a social post that goes with the caption above. And let's have an image created and see if we can start to move a little bit closer to kind of creating a warm and friendly version that I think we need to create for, parents so they feel comfortable. This is a big thing. When we talk about dentist office, not everyone loves to go. So how can we show a warm and caring environment through our social media using generative AI? I love this because you also can say, hey, let's go back to example 2. I love the logo. I love the time for a dental cleaning, but I do not like the image. You can absolutely screenshot that, put that into our little conversation box, and from there, start to get a little bit closer to what you're wanting. So let's see. Ooh, I love that it's creating 2 for us. That's awesome to see. And see what kind of comes up with. But again, everything is customizable. Even if you were like, oh, I love this purple image or this image, but can you create it to look like someone's there? All of that is doable with our ChatGPT, with generative AI in general. So let's take a look. What did they create? Image 1 is better. Image 2 is better. It's having a little poll here. So let's take a look at image 1, Bright Smile Dental. Ooh, we did a little uptick on the logo. That's looking a little bit better. If you don't have a logo for your business, also a place to get great ideas, have a logo created for you. Also, healthy smiles, gentle, stress-free, schedule your teeth cleaning today. So you can see there's a little bit more of kids in the background. They look happy. There's a little bit brighter colors, and it's tailoring a little bit more to kind of what we're looking for. And then option 2. So you can see kind of a similar thing. I think I actually like option 1 a little bit better with the colors. It sticks out, just feels a little bit more bright and happy. So you can see from here, right? We got the kiddos, we got the things. From this image to this is a big jump for sure. But now let's dig into level 4, and this is where it gets, honestly, what I think is pretty fun. So we are going to write a business grade prompt. And in order to write a business grade prompt, there's 6 critical components you need to know: role definition, audience, goal, brand tone, constraints, and output format. And then we're going to have an output. So we want this to be predictable, on brand. And obviously the hope is when we get to level 4 that this is easy to review and easy to reuse. I will again be going slow enough for you to walk with me, but we do have a prompt template available. So if you want to follow that, absolutely. Otherwise, I will be going slow. Pause, rewind, whatever you need to make sure you're getting this right. A few things, don't forget. Ask yourself, make sure this is not confidential. Make sure we're not, putting information that contains customer data, right? We're following compliances, and we're using tools that are approved, right? We call this the 10-second AI safety check. If you wouldn't want anyone to see it, don't post it. That's kind of a thing to live by. So we just don't want to include sensitive information, personal data, or things like that. We want to keep this safe, obviously secure. So let's dive into the fun prompts. So again, take your time with this. We'll roll through this a little bit slower to give you guys time. So, let's start with role. I'm going to keep these a little bit spread out so we can walk through them a little bit easier. But we're going to start with role. So my role is I am the office manager for a dental office called Bright Smiles Dental. So I'm an office manager. For the role, fill in what your role is at the business. For business context, we're going to start with industry. The industry obviously is healthcare and dental. We're focusing on a dental office for this example, and our audience is parents. Ages 25 to 50, making decisions for themselves and their kids and looking for convenience, trust, and kid-friendly dental care, which is amazing and what parents are looking for. So I feel like we're tailoring really well to kind of what parents are looking for, especially using that word convenience, trust, and kid-friendly. Our geolocation, the dental practice is located in sunny San Diego, California. Love all of that. And obviously the objective is to increase the amount of new patients dental cleanings on my calendar. So I'm the office manager. I need to be busy. Let's get some people booking. And our tone, we are family friendly, fun. We still want to come across professional, but obviously, we do not want to sound like a robot and we want to use human tone. A big part of this is like, obviously, we're speaking to parents with kids. We want to really show that we're warm and caring and things like that. All right, so the next thing we're going to add here is a task. So we're going to really lay out what do we want our AI tool to create. So think about what you want your task to do. What do you want to get from this? So your task is to create an engaging Facebook social media post and image that attracts new patients to schedule a dental cleaning. So again, we're going to have that engaging Facebook post. We want to continue to push people to schedule with us. In order to get what we want, though, we do need to include some key details for our AI tool, right? The more detail we can give, the more that our AI tools can understand our business and kind of the feeling of our business, the better the output is going to be. So key details to include: our practice is kid-friendly, amazing. We're accepting new patients. That's great to know so people don't think that we're completely booked. We specialize in making kids who are afraid feel comfortable and have a positive experience. I actually really love that one. We accept private insurance, and we want to avoid contributing the fear that some patients have going to the dentist, which I know that's adults and kids alike. So love all of this. Get as nitty gritty as you can when it comes to your business. What are the key details and what are you trying to get out of this? And then we're going to add our output format, right? So let's go in here. Let's copy and paste this in. And what is our output format? This social media post should be around 100 to 150 words and is formatted with bullet points to make this easy to read. We want the social media graphic to reflect the needs of my audience and make them feel like they have found a dental practice that accommodates their whole family. And then obviously we're including a CTA. So big thing here is make sure you include a CTA. We don't want to just have a beautiful, awesome post with nowhere for anyone to go or no direction to how they can contact you. So let's throw this in. Again, make sure you have the business objective, the business context, the task, the key details, and then the output format. All right, let's see what ChatGPT can come up with us. I'm kind of excited. And this obviously should hopefully move us closer and closer to what you are looking for and what you want. And we've talked about this probably ad nauseum at this point, but everything from a generative AI is updatable, it's changeable, you're never stuck with anything. I think the best thing too is if it is just not going the way you want, we can just scratch and start over. So know that you're never stuck. You can save your prompts. And you can build off them also. So there's a ton of different options when it comes to the ChatGPT options and generative AI and tools that you have. Before this is made, I want to go back really quick and just review what the images that were created. So level 1, she's not bad. She's okay. We got a okay little logo. We're saying we're accepting new patients, yada, yada, yada. It's not really giving me info, but it's there, right? Then we kind of take a next step and we have time for a dental cleaning, right? A lot of people tend to miss that. It's saying gentle, thorough. It's got some kiddos in the background, feels a little bit warmer and inviting. And then we jump into this one, right? We got some bright colors. We have kid-friendly. We have adult cleanings, now accepting new patients. We're getting closer to kind of the feeling that people want when they're looking for a dental office. And now, which is really nice about this is it's creating an actual image for us, like an actual Facebook post that looks realistic so you can get an idea of what you're actually looking for. So I love this. And this is doing the slow approach where it's like, hey, we're not going to give it to you all at once, but we're slowly going to unveil what we're creating. So I love all of this with the big red question mark. Searching for a family-friendly dentist in San Diego at Bright Smile Dental. We're here to care for your whole family. We're accepting new patients. We're kid-friendly, gentle. We accept insurance, convenient, stress-free. I know parents love to hear that. And we specialize in helping even the most nervous kids feel comfortable and happy. Schedule today. There's our website. And look at this. We have a family-friendly dental care with an awesome family that's kind of right there for you with the doctor. Schedule a dental cleaning today. I love it. I think we're getting very, very close to what we're looking at. I think there would just be a few changes, and obviously from here, you just tweak. Saying, hey, I don't love the nurse or the doctor that's in this picture. Let's really just focus on the kids, right? All of those little things we can start to tweak and start to change. But you can see how we went from no information, very generic, to really dialing in that we are a family-friendly dental care. We care for kids and adults. We're gentle. We're stress-free. We have insurance. And then we have our awesome Learn More button here that you can have. So you can see everything here created for you, ready to go. And that's the really cool thing about doing the levels. You start with level 1, basic. We get to level 4, and it truly is an outcome that you're looking for. And obviously, once we get past level 4, we can get to level 5, which is just a governed and repeatable prompts within your business. So once you've mastered kind of exactly what this looks like from a level 4 of these prompts, right? Understanding the objective, understanding the task, and really dialing in the key details, we can start making this a repeatable step in your business. So your team can start using it. You can train your staff, right? We can start to see what that usage looks like. And hope is by adopting AI, right, we can have a little bit more scalability. Maybe we can be a little bit safer with the info and, getting more clear data, and obviously help you guys deliver on your goals within your business. So I really hope that you had fun with this prompt, with this workshop. I know I did. ChatGPT and generative AI in general is so much fun. There's so much to do and so much to learn. And I hope that this helped you realize that it's not scary. It's super easy. And always remind yourself that you're in control, right? AI doesn't operate on its own. You're always there to lead it, guide it, and hopefully make your life a little bit easier on the tasks that you really don't want to be stuck doing. So as this continues to grow and the foundation becomes more and more important, if AI is becoming part of your business conversations, it might be worth just taking a step back, making sure that your environment is ready to go, support it securely and intentionally, and we can help you do that. So that's something that we can walk you through, think you through, and maybe, show you some easy ways that you can use it. There is no pressure with that, just a conversation to understand where you are, what makes sense, and you know what, we'll meet you right where you are. So thank you so much for joining today. I hope you leave here feeling a little bit clearer and a little more confident about how to use AI today in your business, and this kind of kickstarts you to get started today. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your day.